Parents, close with both?
Yeah.
Can you recall a childhood story, memory about your father?
Many. My father always pushed us. Sometimes we were afraid when he pushed us, because he wanted us to do something that you were afraid to cross that barrier. With every age comes a different barrier. When you're younger, you're like, yeah, but I know better. Yeah, you don't know better.
When you have kids, you know better.
Yeah.
It makes us realize the shit we put our parents through.
Oh, yes.
And when you had your daughter and son, like you immediately, maybe after you had your first, because when I had my first, I went to my mom and I'm like, just thank you for everything you had to put up with, because it's not easy doing all that.
No.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to the Mo Show podcast, episode 44. Faisal, it feels really refreshing that for the first time in 44 episodes, I'm not wearing headphones. I said, let me try something out. على حسابك. Faisal, you're an architect, a marketeer, a car fanatic. That's a lot on your plate. We're going to get into which one you enjoy doing the most. But firstly, let's introduce you. You've worked on various projects in the Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, most notably in the Holy Mosque in Mecca and in King Abdullah Financial District, KAFD in Riyadh. So we touched on architecture, marketeer, and car fanatic. Which one of the three came first to you as a love or interest?
Cars. It doesn't take long.
Next question. So were you into cars like from an early age? Was it something that your father got you into? How did you get into cars?
I've always seen a family portrait picture we have, and they always had a white 959 in my hand.
Classic.
So I think I was maybe like less than one.
Super limited production car, the 959.
Very special.
I mean, for those who don't know it, an uncle of mine has one. And I remember a story where when he was driving behind a modern day Porsche on the streets of Cannes, that modern day Porsche pulled over out of respect to have the 959 pass him. And I was like, wow, there really is etiquette, even in the world of car collection and all that. The etiquette is really high. I mean, how cool
definitely.
is that?
And the car is actually very fun to drive. I've been fortunate to drive one. It has two turbos, and each turbo has a different bar setting. Mm-hmm. So when you start to accelerate, the first turbo kicks in, and then you're like, oh, that's not fast. And then the second turbo kicks in, and then you're scared.
Is that what they call twin turbo?
It is a flat six twin turbo,
okay,
but with different boost gauges, basically.
It was a supercar. Oh, this is definitely not where we plan to start our conversation with 959, but we're going to go there. Was it like the world's first supercar before supercars became a thing, would you say?
No, the Miura was...
The Miura, the Lambo.
Yeah, it's the daddy of all supercars.
That looks as current as cars did maybe 15, 20 years ago for a 70s model, is it?
60s.
60s.
Yeah.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah. And the thing is, between old cars and new cars is the size. Mm. Old cars are tiny. New cars are S-class size.
Even in the Bentley, like you hear about the four-door Bentley, I think it's Arnage or whatever. Chris Harris compared the ones of the late 80s to the Mulsanne. Yeah. Mulsanne is double the size.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The Mulsanne has presence.
Huge.
Like a 747 on the road.
Huge. And you don't realize it back. I mean, I was young enough to remember those four-door Bentleys cruising around the streets of London. They looked huge at the time.
Yeah.
But it's funny how over time, when you compare it and reference it against a modern day, why did cars get so much big?
Regulations, safety, airbags, more computers, more things to go wrong, basically. But they add to the creature comfort. The cars are quieter.
Refined. You heard Jeremy Clarkson talk about refinement. with cars. The way, like he said that his most favorite thing about how cars have changed in the last 20 or 30 years is refinement.
Yeah.
You touch on noise.
Yeah.
You don't hear that.
Well, like today, a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, when you sit inside and you close the door, you really feel that planet Earth stops and you decide where it goes. It's not the car is moving, it's the globe is moving to where the car wants to go.
That's a really good way to put it. You are a petrol head indeed, and I love it. Jay Leno. I want to. That's initially where I wanted to start with. That
Okay.
You have a story with Jay Leno, and I heard that he cooked for you, not something that he's known for. I want to know how that interaction
So
happened.
it all started for trying to get an old car. And a friend of mine who's a mechanic in McLaren, this shows you a little bit of how obsessed I am. I know all the mechanics there, or most of them. I reached out to him. I know he worked on Jay's car. I said, listen, I need to get in contact with him to get the contact of that guy. So he sends him an email, and then suddenly out of nowhere, I get a call. Someone saying, is this Faisal? I say, yes, it's Jay Leno. And you can never it never gets old how awesome this is. We ended up buying the car, and the next trip I went to Los Angeles, I called him. I said, listen, hey, I'm in LA. I'd like to pass by. He's like, sure, come to the garage, send me the details.
The Jay Leno garage.
Yeah. I went with Rob Dickinson, who was the singer, 9/11 guy. We went there, and I walk in, I'm looking for him, and his garage guy tells me, oh, he's in the back. So I start walking on the back, and there's like a small kitchen, and he's making pasta. And he asked me, before even saying hello or anything, he's like, did you have lunch? I said, no. He's like, okay, then I'll put a plate for you. And we met over a pasta. And it was really good.
It was good.
Yeah. His reviews on cars and his taste in cars is quite fascinating, but his pasta was really good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It puts you in an elite group. I don't think many people have had Jay Leno cook for them a pasta.
I hope so.
But good to know. Good to know that you are in an elite group. What was the garage like? I know he has a show on YouTube. Was it the most impressive that you've seen?
It has the nicest variety, I think. He has a lot of bikes, and the bikes he has, unfortunately, or fortunately for him, not a lot of people know how great they are. But he has steam cars, he has electric cars, he has cars with jet engines. He has everything, and everything runs, which is
Trickle chargers, he really.
no. He drives them, which is even awesome.
How many cars are we talking? Over 100?
Yeah, well over 100. Maybe closer to 300 than 100.
I went to his show in LA once in Burbank, and he showed up in something that looked like a tank.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that was a legal car to drive in the state of California.
Dude, he has a bike with a jet engine on. So a tank is just a walk in the park.
He is really a unique guy who I think if he concentrated on cars and automobiles instead of doing the Tonight Show, if he could have been the Jeremy Clarkson level presenter of the US, I think if he
is now.
He's doing that now.
Yeah, he has a show.
20 years in NBC. I feel like that could have been something. 20 years spent on doing cars, which is what he loves.
You need to work to get the money to buy the car.
Fair enough.
To make the show about the cars.
You have really answered that properly.
But again, he helped a lot in the automotive business that a lot of people don't know how much. If someone went to him and they showed him a product and he believed in the product, he will pick up the phone and call people and make things happen.
And get the car into production?
Yeah. For example, Ariel Atom, a British company, they had a Honda engine. And when they went to the US, they had some issues with engines, and he made the call and he got them the engines, and it was done. And we're not talking about, small manufacturers that he got someone huge like, you know, Honda in the US, which is Acura,
It's quite
to talk to these small guys in a shed in Somerset in the UK. They were very small. Now they're much bigger.
Yeah.
So
Are they Ariels are really cool cars. Are they increasing in sales? Is it a company that is
I think they have a couple of products now. They have the Nomad, which is like an off-road Ariel Atom, which is mental. Looks
think I've seen that.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a couple of stuff.
The Atom is a fun car to drive. It really is. And
Scary.
I was worried about it. I was worried about that car company, as I'm worried about many of these small British firms that they don't really make it. They're always in trouble. Lotus for many years, you know, they were in trouble. Jaguar is always in trouble.
Yeah.
And Ariel, not that they're the size of Lotus or Jaguar, but their cars are like very specific to like track day enthusiasts. And I've driven one on track day and it blew me away.
Look, JLR, Jaguar, Land Rover, now they're under Tata. So they don't have the issues that they had before. Lotus now is under Geely.
Chinese and Indian companies took over. Huh?
Yeah. Ariel Atom and the small British brands, you know, who are making unbelievable cars. You know, BAC, Mono, for example, they're doing unbelievable stuff.
Mono.
But they don't have the platform to talk and to show the level of advancement in the technology and the thinking and the build quality that they do to a lot of people. Very similar to Tesla when Elon started with the Roadster. Not a lot of people heard about it, but he needed those early cars to be sold to fund the bigger project, and then the rest is history. Some people manage to be lucky to get it quicker than others. Rimac, for example, now he's the CEO of Bugatti, which is, you know, that's crazy.
Your background initially was architecture.
Yes.
You studied it.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, traveling across Saudi, I see some unique architectural masterpieces. Like I think KAFD is a beautiful development of buildings. Or in the Eastern Province, the Aramco building, which just looks like something that fell out of space. Or even the train stations, the trains that had a high-speed rail. Like you've got, I think Norman Foster designed the train stations over here. It's fantastic. When you look at the architecture in our region, is it something that really excites you, that like you're like, oh wow, you know, now we have something that is super world class? Like, do you take note of it?
Yeah, some of it, yes. A lot of buildings, unfortunately, were not designed in a way that is very creative, but they do a job. You know, Wazart al-Dakhliya is a fantastic building. It looks like a UFO waiting to take off.
The one, the one in Riyadh,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
it's been around for a while too.
It's been around
30 years,
40 years,
yes,
if not more.
Yeah,
and looks magnificent. Every time I drive next to it, I'm glued to it.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Something to marvel at.
Yeah.
So it really does look like a UFO.
It's unbelievable. And you know, King Khalid Airport in Riyadh again is unbelievable. It's magnificent.
That's also been around 30 or so odd years. It's been
way before my time.
Couple decades,
Yeah, way before my time.
Yeah, making me feel old.
Welcome to the club.
So architecture in the region has really taken off.
Yeah. And now you have, you know, people who are building. They're getting architects from around the world, and they're giving them the right brief to design something. People are more aware of what they can do and what they should do and where the architectural world is going. And that helps big time. Yeah. It makes the whole country look a lot better.
For sure. I mean, you look at cities
the
around the world. Skylines.
Fantastic.
Cities are judged by how great they look as sky. You know, how great their skylines look. Yeah. You know, you see Beijing, Hong Kong, skyline, New York.
Yeah. Like New York is a little bit different. You have the Guggenheim. You have these old classical buildings that
Empire State.
Yeah, that changed the map of architecture.
Yeah.
But then you go to like Bilbao, again you have another Guggenheim Museum, which is completely different, a Frank Gehry design. Riyadh, you have Al Faisaliya, you have Al Mamlaka. For that time when they were built, it was unbelievable.
Shocking. Yeah. It's gorgeous. You had an ad agency in Dubai for a long time, and now you shifted it to Saudi Arabia.
It's a 2.0, lessons learned. The one in Dubai used to be called WSF. The new one is called 20. It's different. It's focused on automotive.
Okay.
Basically, whatever an automotive dealer in the Middle East needs.
So it's specific to the
It's
automotive
specific automotive.
culture. Okay.
So it's all down my alley, let's say.
Yeah. You must never feel like work.
Yeah, it's
Like
You
no
wake
one's
up
ever going to
happy.
be like, "Hi, can you just take a picture of my juice company?"
well, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be interesting.
But we'll do it with a car.
Yeah.
So
Find a way to put in a car in there. I love it. So you shifting it from there to Jeddah, was that challenging? Was that a difficult move?
the whole world was challenging in the age of COVID. So for me, it was actually quite easy. I came to Saudi, got stuck here, so I was like, okay, need to work. So you just wake up and start working from Jeddah,
Yeah.
new HQ.
Which is home for you. I mean, family is Jeddah, correct?
Most of our family is in Jeddah. My father lives in Riyadh, so we're the only branch of the family that lived in Riyadh.
Okay.
But
Yes.
now I guess I'm in Jeddah.
Yeah. And I
So-
can pick up on your accent now that you say it. It's more Najdi than Hijazi.
Well, look, Najdi people say I'm Hijazi, and Hijazi people
Yeah,
say I'm
yeah,
Najdi. So like
exactly.
I'm both.
Faisal, what would you say excites you the most thing in life? Like, when do you feel most alive?
Coming up with ideas.
Very interesting. And like, where do you get your ideas from? Like, what gives you inspiration? Like, what moments do you feel like you get fresh ideas in?
Every time, like all the time. It doesn't matter if you say something that can relate to something in my mind, that something someone said a couple of days ago or a month or a week, it just clicks.
You don't have like a thinking room where you have your cappuccino and no one disturbs you and you're sitting there with a pen and paper. You don't like have a specific.
No, that's when I have a mental block.
That's
This is when I
So it's just like on the go. Like you can.
yeah. The best I think is when I'm driving. I remember one time recently in Dubai, I left at dinner. I had this idea, and by the time the idea formulated, I looked at the road and I realized that I was in Abu Dhabi. Like I left Dubai to Abu Dhabi and I didn't even notice
You
that.
spaced out. You just.
I spaced out.
سرحت, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like driving bit, a manual was like I didn't need to think about it. It's like breathing. So yeah,
It's over 100 kilometers
Yeah.
that you didn't feel.
nothing.
You are.
And then the ugly part is, okay, now I have to go back.
yes, that you felt.
Yeah, that I felt big time.
That's really cool. Any fears?
No.
Not even when you're strapped into your car, you're taking a turn, coming in hot. There's an idiot on your left or right.
No.
The racetrack doesn't scare you.
No. Okay, it goes around, it comes back to the same place. So
Heavy turbulence on a plane, skydiving. No.
no.
Your wife being angry.
Yeah. but
Me too.
but this is maturity.
Back in the beginning, yeah. Let's move on from this point.
Yeah. I felt the heat.
Yeah. Let's go to a comic relief. I worked on a bit of this or that for you. Questions, fire away questions, as I like to call it. And see how you tackle them.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Faisal. White or black?
White.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Chicken shawarma or meat shawarma?
Meat.
Perrier or San Pellegrino?
Doesn't matter.
I'm kidding because they're exactly the same.
Exactly.
I know that was a joke. كنت بشوف له مركز ولا لا. You are with us. Coke or Diet Coke?
Coke.
Spontaneous or unspontaneous?
Spontaneous.
Could be inspontaneous. So spontaneous, yeah. Max or Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Wet or dry?
Wet.
Silverstone or Monza?
Monza.
Ferrari or Lamborghini?
Ferrari.
Straight or chicane?
Chicane.
Schumacher or Senna?
Senna.
F1 or Formula E?
F1.
PCH or Stelvio Pass?
Stelvio Pass.
2-door or 4-door?
2-door.
Camry or Corolla?
Corolla.
Mashallah, he's right off the cuff. That's very good. But really, Corolla over the Camry?
Yeah, big time. It's lighter, it's smaller, you're more on the power all the time.
Oh, you actually have an answer for it?
Yeah, definitely.
I am not a car guy compared to him. That is fantastic. I thought you just wanted to answer because an answer was needed, but you had a justification for your
I have a justification for everything.
God, this is fun. Back to questions. What's a remedy for when you're ever down or depressed? Have you ever been depressed, sad?
I don't know if I was depressed
You
or
look like a happy guy.
categorically created, name it as depression.
Yeah.
I've had some hard times, like everyone else, I'm sure. But I always looked at the bright side. I'm always like a half glass full rather than half glass empty. If you're alive, then there's something good about it.
Yeah, it's a lot to be happy about.
Exactly. So keep pushing.
Yeah, it's a very good attitude.
Gets better at some point. When I don't know, but it gets better.
Everything's temporary. When I heard that sentence, I just don't look at things the same way.
Yeah.
Everything's temporary. Yeah. Even joy. Happy. So you're gonna a couple days from now, some shit's gonna happen.
One day you're not happy.
Yeah, everything's temporary. Even the hardest days of your life, it's temporary. It will not last forever.
Definitely.
And it changed my perspective on life. Honestly, like you just triggered a thought. Parents close with both.
Yeah.
Can you recall a childhood story or memory about your father?
Many.
My father, share one with us.
My father always pushed us. Sometimes we were afraid when he pushed us, because he wanted us to do something that you were afraid to cross that barrier. With every age comes a different barrier. I remember when my first daughter was born, Lean, I called my mother and I told her, I know that I'm your favorite. I'm one of 5, the first of 5. Like, it's now I know what it feels like. And there's no way you could love anything other than that. And she's like, yeah, I know, but everyone has their own taste and they're different. And to be honest, it is true. When Abdulaziz, my second son, came, it felt different. But my father called me after it and, just to put everything into reality and to get me down from that high. Not in a bad way, but in a realistic way. And he told me, you see all this, love and care. Imagine when they do something that you've asked them not to do, which unfortunately, like everyone else, I've done many times.
Yeah. Oh.
But it put me back to planet Earth, basically. And now, when he tells me my advice is to do this, I listen to it a lot differently than I used to.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you're like, yeah, but I know better. You don't know better. Just
when you have kids, you know better.
Yeah.
It makes us realize the shit we put our parents through.
Oh, yes.
And when, just as when you had your daughter and son, like you immediately, maybe after you had your first, because when I had my first, I went to my mom and I'm like, just thank you for everything you had to put up with, because it's not easy doing all that.
No.
You have appreciation for them, just like instant.
Definitely. And continuously. Like today, they complain about this or that, or if, God forbid, they get sick, the worry you get out of that
God, your heart stops.
is like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Son had a runny nose yesterday. I had trouble sleeping.
yeah,
You
and
like
it's
small
something
things.
simple. You know that
Simple.
it's just
Simple.
a day and it'll be okay.
The world was easier before having kids. Less to worry about. These white hairs came from worry of my son.
Yeah, it was a lot easier, yes, but now it's much more worth living.
For sure. Purpose
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, you can't compare it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything. I'll keep the white hairs on my son. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
Then back. Purpose. Yeah, you feel like you don't even like remember what you were doing with your life before you had.
No, I was wanting to get married, so
You're probably on the racetrack
yeah.
to get married. Is there something that people don't know about you? I mean, you go by, if you look at your Instagram profile, you think he loves his cars, he loves his finer things in life. He has an eye for pictures, very meticulous. But we don't know Faisal. Who is Faisal? Like, is there something that you can share with us that can tell us a little bit more about you?
I'm a shy person, believe it or not. Like, very shy.
Really?
Yeah.
But shy people
I
wouldn't
had-
accept to come on the podcast.
I struggled when I finished high school. I went to London, and I went alone. School, I was shy to go to school. Like, you moved all the way from Saudi to London, and I was shy to go to school. It was that. But yeah, you had to push through, and I studied architecture. So with every project, you had to stand in front of everyone and present,
Yeah,
which wasn't fun.
it's not easy.
And then when you had the head teacher to come in and to critique and to say that your idea is stupid or not good enough, you had to, like, there was a lot of that. But then at the end of the graduation, I was very relaxed, very happy. I was like, yeah, finished, great, next. So yeah, I learned a lot. It wasn't very easy. It was tough.
Good memories. School in England.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. Then which school?
I went to Kingston
Okay.
for a couple of years. Then I went to South Bank.
Okay. You learn a lot over there. Like, it helps you grow and be independent.
Oh yeah, big time.
No one's doing anything for you over there.
No.
Laundry's on you.
Well, I had my ways.
Okay, nice. I wish I knew what your ways were, because it wasn't fun for
Yeah.
me to handle.
No,
all.
it was fun. I had, my father, he loves architecture. He's an architect. So when I did my first project, it was all done on computer.
Okay.
Revit 4. Now we're on Revit 22. So it's like you can count the years.
Yeah.
And when he saw how easy it is for me to create a section of just 2 clicks on the line, and he's like, "This is not good." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "It took us 2 weeks to draw a section." I was like, "Yeah, see here, it's just 1 line, and there you have it." But it took us, a week to make a drawing that is worth it. And my teacher, Lily, she was insane. First day of school, she's like, "I own 8 hours of your day, every day. You sleep for 8 hours and you do everything else in 8 hours."
Wow, she's great.
And it changed my life. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure you learned a lot.
it was great years.
Yeah. Even though Lily sounds aggressive.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's something out there that you want to accomplish in the next few years?
Yes. A couple of things. But one of them is to build something going to be announced soon, I hope.
And the other thing?
To make the first thing better.
In the world of architecture, or
It's mostly automotive. But it has architecture to do with it.
okay.
You need a place to make something. So
And now I know what it is. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for announcing it on my show.
Yeah. Anytime.
That's something that you would like to see come to fruition in the next couple of years, inshallah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been a we spent a lot of time and effort in making it, coming up with the right concept, the right team, because any great concept is as good as its weakest link.
Yeah.
And inshallah, we have a very strong team. You know, a dream team, let's say. We're missing a couple of bits here and there, but
They'll come.
hopefully in the next 1 or 2 months we should have it.
Do you want to know what I like about you?
Yeah.
You want to work in something that brings you joy, something that you're interested in, which is cars.
Yeah.
And you're going to do whatever it takes for you to work within that realm of cars. And that's something that I take from just sitting here with you. Forget about podcasts and shooting everything. Like, do what makes you happy. Cars make you happy. You want to work with cars in any capacity, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's a lesson
But
to anyone
not
who's...
in any capacity. I'm digging the deepest capacity.
But still within the realm of cars.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson. That's a huge takeaway from this episode. People who don't know what they want to do, what is it that you love? Find what it is you love and pursue it.
I struggled with that. I tried to find what I love. And I love architecture. And I studied architecture. And my father made sure that he would show me how difficult it is. He would put me in, offices to work during the summer. And I loved it. I enjoyed every single minute of it. The whole family was on holiday and I was going to the office every day, sitting down and sketching and drawing, like a minion, let's say.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And when I study all through, the 9-10 years of studying in the UK, I really enjoyed it. But it took me a while to understand that where I really am most comfortable is cars. And I don't think that I'm, the most knowledgeable person in cars. But yeah, there's still a long way to go.
Looking back, any regrets?
No. Nothing.
Nothing you'd want to do over?
If I didn't do all the mistakes, I wouldn't be here today. So, and I like it here today.
Bravo. That's good because we learn. When we don't get what we want or we make a mistake, we learn and it betters us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wallah, thank you for sharing what you shared.
No,
is there anything you want to leave us with before we say goodbye to you? Appreciate everything you shared with us, by the way.
just have fun
In what you do.
in anything.
Yeah.
What you do or what you don't do, just have fun.
Because life is shorter than we think. Again, I go back to this quote that Kobe Bryant said, we have less time than we think, which gives me the chills every time I hear it.
And it happens so quickly.
Yeah.
You don't realize it.
Fajr,
it became so...
somber. Yeah, I know. We'll definitely end on a good note. For sure, pursue what brings you happiness in life. Yeah. That's a major point. And also try new things because you don't know what it is that could be of a new interest for you than what it is you love. Try new things. And do what makes you happy. I think are two good words of wisdom from what I can take out of this episode if I just had to choose two. Thanks, Faisal. Really appreciate you coming on and sharing what you did. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was fun.
I trust you enjoyed.
It was fun.
Habibi, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.